Welcome back to Taz and Escape from Mars.
Oh.
There you
There
go.
we are.
So yeah,
So we establishing like in the previous part where the music starts before the actual level loads.
yeah. I guess it has something to do with the way the game is programmed. I don't know. Oh well. Well, continuing through Marvin's home because you know, I guess I guess the designers really wanted a showdown against Marvin, which is fine. I just think they also forgot that they already put Taz back on Earth before we got here, but like whatever.
Also, with gravity switching.
I wonder, what if the manual explains this?
It doesn't, Joe. I actually had the manual as a kid. It doesn't. The manual explains the base premise, and it describes the levels on a vague way, but it doesn't explain how we got in here.
Okay, so what does the manual describe this level as?
Well, let me get it then. It's been a while, obviously.
Might as well.
Taz.
That hurt.
But yeah, like Theo said, yeah, this level's gimmick is
Laser!
Gravity switching.
Gravity switching, yeah.
Eat your heart out, Super Mario Galaxy. Yeah, I cannot finish that sentence.
Eh,
It was Galaxy, yes.
True, but I'm pretty positive a lot of games did gravity switching floors before that.
Yeah, Mega Man 5.
Mm-hmm.
Alright,
for one of the X games with the genie, Maverick.
the manual starts by describing Taz's moves and the snacks. Then it says right here, Planet Mars. And by Planet Mars, they mean this is the section where we describe the levels. So we have Mars Zoo, we have Mole World, of course, Planet X, Mexico, the Haunted Castle, and now Marvin the Martian's house. And that's it. Oh, it doesn't even have the story. Huh. I actually was under the impression that it had at the very least a base describing it around. No, it only describes the levels, Jovo.
So there's not even a story. Wow.
It says right here, Marvin the Martian's house. 85% of all accidents happen at home. Marvin the Martian's house is no exception. With K9, blah, blah, blah. Taz falls into the trash compactor and must ricochet. Nope. Okay, here's the basic gist of it, Jova. The plot is a very, very, very afterthought. Clearly.
Dang. Okay then.
They just pretty much created the levels for the sake of it, and then created something that will tie them together.
Vaguely, yeah. This was back in the day where
they could just do that. It's weird because Desert Demolition, again, the game that I also played, the one on Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote, Desert Demolition, actually is a bit more consistent despite having a fuck ton of levels, actually, and it's all seemingly tied together. So I get the idea it was mostly a choice of the developers to, play it more safe. And considering how we discovered how kind of troubled the formation of a new team happened to be after the release of the first Tasmania game, I get the idea they wanted to prioritize of making a game with a more solid gameplay rather than focusing on something that would have damaged the product potentially.
The primary, yes, trying to make a game that doesn't blow ass, basically. Yeah. No. Like, okay, the gimmick here also have to destroy those things there to destroy the laser, so you can get through the other passages and get to the other level. That's the basic gist of it. Well, that's the thing. Technically, the first game does tie in better the levels because everything is the exact same excuse of exploring Tasmania, trying to find that bird's egg. But okay, fine, that's cool.
Who the fuck cares?
Who the fuck cares when the game itself is so utterly unenjoyable?
Like I did say the fact that I still reiterate the fact that I do believe that the Tasmania show was not really impressive, but I get the idea that for a fan of it, the way how the game did actually tied in, it might have been actually nice. But the problem relies on the fact that I still believe that the entire setting for the Tasmania cartoon looked kinda uninspired for what to do with the Looney Tunes product.
I have yet to really see
it's the same problem that I had with the 2010 Looney Tunes set of shorts. So we have the fact, sure, they actually managed to finally get Lola Bunny as a character, But my God, everything set up in Suburbia.
Yeah, that was my problem as well.
It's the death of creativity. I'm sorry.
My problem with the Looney Tunes show. My problem with the Looney Tunes show. Sorry.
Yes, Deja?
I say you guys are such boomers.
It's not a matter of being a boomer. It's a matter of the fact that these characters were not made for suburban sitcom premises in mind. These were made for short 7-minute comedy.
I mean, okay, so can I make a counter argument to that?
Yes, just go.
Look at the Disney characters. They were made for short, especially Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. They were made for short comedies, but they were able to do a lot with them. They're evergreen characters.
Well, guess what, Dej? I'm not really the biggest fan of Goof Troop either.
Yeah, not to mention, that's the thing, Deji. Even the original shorts from the 40s had a lot more narrative to it than your typical Looney Tunes cartoon. So Walt Disney's shorts have always been a bit more meaty in terms of narrative and setting and character development. The Looney Tunes shorts have always been entirely based on comedy and nothing else. They're like the Chuck Jones would even tell you, our characters are actors. They're just actors playing scripts. They don't even consider them quote unquote characters with actual history and shit. Like that's how the original creators made these characters, and that's how I think they should be portrayed.
True, but a lot has changed. They've come a long way since 1940.
True, but put aside the character angle, Dej. Again, it's more the fact that, again, the entire creativity behind making something with this basically with Butcher as a result. Because before you could say to someone, pitch me a concept, and you could think any kind of setting, any kind of situation, as long as, the humor lands, and the characters do stay intact in what the original vision was, you could literally do anything. If you start restricting the setting, it's only basically just a self-imposed challenge, and you're essentially gatekeeping a part of your audience as a result.
I think that's a little extreme here. I honestly think that the idea of the suburban setting for the Looney Tunes show wasn't necessarily a harsh limit, but like you mentioned, a self-imposed challenge, but not necessarily one in a bad way. It was to see about making the Looney Tunes funny still in that setting, and I and many other people do think that they succeeded with it. Was it for everyone? No, but it definitely did have, I'd say, the right idea here. Now, like I said, obviously it wasn't for everyone, as you and Pedro are definitely a sign of, but honestly, I still do think that show did earn its fan base for the right reasons in showing that the Looney Tunes can be more than just this or that. It's sort of similar to how I feel about The Muppet Show, or at least the second half of The Muppet Show.
Even though Pedro has gone on record saying that he doesn't like that show.
Oh, trust me. I do not blame him. The first half is a little too mean-spirited. It is clear that by the second half...
You're talking about the ABC show or the recent Disney Plus one?
The ABC.
Okay. No, that...
The one that's trying to be The Office.
Yeah. Let me just sum it up like this. First half, very problematic. Second half, it pretty much is confirmed that they got rid of the original studio head for that, so it got better by the second half. The problem is that for some reason they just cut the show, despite the fact that...
Because Disney loves cutting shows on ABC that doesn't do Grey's Anatomy numbers.
Wait, I forgot Grey's Anatomy is an ABC product.
Fortunately now with Disney Plus, shows have much more breathing room in comparison.
Is that also one of the reasons why we managed to get the actor protagonist of Grey's Anatomy for the main leading role in Enchanted?
Probably.
Wait, that's her?
Him.
No, him.
Patrick Dempsey.
Okay. Basically, Dej, you don't have to worry because his character is now deceased in Grey's Anatomy anyway.
But that doesn't stop them from being... Like, I can recall, at least if I recall correctly, 2 characters who were supposed to be dead and came back to life.
I guess
Grey's Anatomy has no fucking dignity whatsoever.
For me, it's
Grey's Anatomy is our generation, is a modern general hospital.
And for me, it's one of those things... Sorry, go ahead.
I'll just say it right now, Scrubs, which... Yeah, I think now that I think about it, I think Scrubs was also an ABC show, so that's how they were
actually it was on NBC, but got moved. Its 9th season was on ABC.
Oh, which is weird because before that point, Scrubs was taking the piss out of Grey's Anatomy.
I mean, that was the entire point. Scrubs was the, major parody, TV series about an hospital. So.
Well, that's
But it
the
had
thing,
its own
though.
identity besides it being
Pretty much.
Not only that, Scrubs could pull off very serious topics in there.
It is. Like Laverne's death, for example.
Yeah,
That was actually
Laverne's
pretty
death, Dr. Cox having to deal with the death of those triple patients.
Even
here
in
and
general,
there.
Dr. Cox's constant depression issues,
With his son being the plot twist, like the person he kept talking
It also
to
has-
Oh,
was actually his deceased son.
he's probably Brendan Fraser.
Oh god, that was so sad.
For me, it's one of those things where I'm a big fan of good old. I'm a big fan of surreal comedy cartoons, like are from Jim, Cow and Chicken, I Am Weasel, the works. Cartoons that commit to not giving a crap about. And don't get me wrong, I love me some Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's not to say that I don't like narrative cartoons. Of course not. That's not the idea. It's just that.
It's just your preference.
No, it's not even a matter of preferences, Deji. I love both approaches. It's not so much a matter of... It's more so the fact that nowadays, in terms of cartoons, there's such an abundance of cartoons that, take themselves... Whereas, there's nothing to scratch that itch for a good old-fashioned comedy cartoon. And
This is a Sonic boss.
Actually,
Basically.
it reminds me more of that chicken robot from Donkey Kong Country Returns.
That too, yeah. Okay, so the final boss battle against Marvin the Martian is where he's piloting this giant Martian helmet with legs. What you have to do is you have to hit the knees, so you can basically bring it down to your level, and then you can eventually jump on it, and I'm not kidding, you hit the broom on the helmet to, I guess, unscrew it? So there you go, guys. According to this game, the broom in the Looney Tunes Martian helmet is actually a screw.
Well, that's some surreal humor, I guess.
Exactly. Okay, there you go. Basically, just keep doing that over and over, and you'll be fine. There you go.
A little bit more.
And there you there we go.
What happened? Oh,
What?
Jesus.
I guess that was his death animation. I don't know. Anyway,
I guess the
time
idea
to
is
actually.
also-
All right, time to go to escape from the planet that we already escaped from.
Don't you mean the planet that we already escaped from to escape to, and... Yeah.
Space is what... Taz, you don't know how to pilot something. Seriously.
He can try to.
He actually managed to get back to his island.
Perfect landing.
Break. I thought he would use the ejector, but of course
that's
the fuel there was no more fuel, I think.
No. Don't you see? He pressed the brakes.
Huh. Cool.
And there he goes.
Off into the sunset, and that's it. Okay.
And so our story comes to
What
an
are
end
these
with our
credits?
valiant-
Sorry, the credit music. Again, the entire music for the game sounds something already very Bubsy-esque, but for the credits alone, it starts to derange even more. Is the game kind of giving up?
Well, okay, that was Taz in Escape from Mars. Dwibs?
It's alright. I mean, it looks a lot better than the first game. And I think some of the music's alright, but other bits are just kind of weird.
Alright, that's it.
Yeah, that's about it. There's not much you can say about these kinds of games, really, if they're done so quickly.
Alright, while Dwibs tries to figure out the fact that he's drowning, good luck there. Good luck there, Dwibs. Deji, what do you think of the game?
It looks better than the last one. That's cool.
Yep.
It actually has an art style that looks reminiscent to the prop IP. The locations look nice. It doesn't look like to be my kind of game, but I do respect it for what it is. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's it.
Alright, I'll go next, might as well. This is actually the end. There you go. Yeah, definitely the step up that the first game needed, because a lot of the things that I did complain got addressed, like the tornado actually destroying and damaging stuff. For example, the level design I'd say was a bit too sometimes at times confusing. I usually one that prefers smaller levels, but there are more where the platforming challenges, relies potentially more on timing, rather than having these big maze-esque levels where you need to find switches all over the place, and you probably get lost all over the place. But this one is, just even in itself, and for what it's worth, it's fine, honestly. Considering how unfinished the first game was, this is basically what Taz needed, technically. And it's also a nice happy ending, more happy ending for the people who cared about developing the first game, who actually got the chance to deliver something more keen to what we actually wanted. So there's that. The only thing that I say where it's weird is the music. Like I said, too much similar to Bubsy for my taste, even in trying to replicate the style of the Looney Tunes cartoons. Also, interesting batch of references sprinkled all over the place. But yeah, that's pretty much it from me. Next.
All right, Jova.
I'll go next. Yeah, it's a fine game. Definitely better than the first. The music actually feels like it has an identity here, as do the graphics as well. Yeah, it seems like a perfectly fine and fun game. Maybe not my speed of platformer, but it looks fine all the same. It's good.
Indeed.
Moving on.
All right, yeah, for me, it's just one of those cases where, I did enjoy this game when I was a kid, and after playing the sequel as an adult, I can appreciate it a hell of a lot more because,
I think you meant playing the first game as an adult, you appreciate this one more.
That's what I said.
You said playing the sequel as an adult.
I did? Okay, whatever. The point is, I grew up with this game, and I never did grow up with the first one, so I only played the original game as an adult. So yeah, it really is one of those cases where I'm at the very least glad that this is the one that I got instead of the first one, because this game, while by no means perfect, at the very least actually is competently made. And actually does have, and actually is creative in the way it manages to make all levels have their own unique gimmick, so that you never feel like you're just going through the motions. So I appreciate the definite step up. This is basically what the first game should have been. Really, there is no task free, at least not that I'm aware.
The other Taz major game that I know was something I called Taz Wanted for the PS2, but I don't know how that is.
There's a Super Nintendo Tasmania game, but it's a very weird type of game that doesn't even have a story. It's more so a game where it's structured more like a racing game, except it's a single player game where you catch kiwis. It's weird. It's not really that interesting, I can assure you. But no, aside from that, I guess that's pretty much the only primary task-centric platformers that I can think of. I don't know any others. So that's done, everybody. So tune in for whatever's next, I guess.
See ya.
Oh man, we're gonna do the Roadrunner game?
That would be awesome.
See ya.